Autobots, transform and roll out!
The ABC deck list. It might take a little bit longer to cover this one because the deck changes all the time, with the side deck especially, but I'll run it through it quickly. So we played three of each one, 3A, 3B, 3C. I've seen people play 2 of each or 2 of specific ones. 3 is just the better number, I think. You can get away with 2, but 3 for more consistency on the searches. We're playing 2 Union Driver to go with a Union Hanger to then take it off to transport another B or C or an A onto the field. Galaxy Soldier just works really well into the deck. Discarding a card, and then we're playing Gold Gadget and Silver Gadget for the special summon of a level 4, just in case we don't have a combo. We can get at least it to a Union Carrier really easily off the first turn. Photon Orbital and Heavy Mech Support Armor in what I would call the cards that you will swap out the most often. They're useful but niche, so they come out very quickly. Vanity's Ruler is in here because in the OCG this has become a big thing within Drytron at the minute, because it's the fairy obviously, but they're summoning Vanity's Ruler and then equipping a B Buster Drake, so you can't special summon, and then it's unaffected by spell cards. It's becoming more a thing, and this deck, with already playing 3 copies of B Buster Drake, might as well stick in Vanity's Ruler. I think it's one of the tech cards that will become more useful in this deck. And then we're playing the hand trap lineup is 3 Schoolmeister, 3 Ash Blossom, 2 Ghost Spell, but you can see we've got 2 Ghost Ogre on the side, just in case we want to swap that out. And because we want to be mainly going second on the deck, playing 3 Lightning Storm, and then with Terraforming, 3 Unauthorized Reactivation, 2 Frontline Base. I really enjoy this card, especially some of the Union Monster. Really good to get Vanity's Ruler out, because obviously with the special summons of a Union Hanger you can get 2 months on the board real quickly, and you can do Union Carrier shenanigans, and it's really good. Then we've got 3 Union Hanger obviously, and Union Scramble, the only trap card we play in the deck, but helps you out in so many situations. When you summon your ABC Dragon Buster and you send those 3 cards off into the Banished, you then use this on your next turn, you can almost go into your Link 5, the Underworld Goddess, and it's really good, just disrupted. And then obviously the extra deck, this is up for chop and change. I think it's really personal choice. I play 3 ABC Dragon Buster, obviously the main card you want to make, Zeus just because it's a staple, and we have the Cyber Dragon Nova Infinity because of the Galaxy Soldier. If you summon 2 you can get into Nova and Infinity and its disruption. 2 Underworld Goddess because this is one of the main decks that is actually able to get to a Link 5 monster the easiest, because you could have the ABC second effect to get 3 back on board, and then Union Scramble as well. It's all about special summoning, and you can definitely get 4 monsters on board and then 1 of your opponent, so we played 2 of that. Appaloosa, again, same sort of situation. Link 4, easy to get out. The BLS, this is personal preference, I really like the card. I think it's in most of my deck profiles because it's very good. Platinum Gadget, pretty much the upgrade to Silver and Gold, you can special summon, and then you can special summon a Gadget monster from your deck if it's gone. Pretty good, getting anything on board. 3 Union Carrier, playing 3 because this is one of the most important cards in combo. This is the card that you will use straight away. If you've got 2 monsters on board, you will bring this out straight away. And then it's really good for Vanity's Ruler as well, to equip Evil straight to Vanity's Ruler. Really good. Masquerader for disruption on the opponent. The side deck, this is really important. This deck constantly changes. In the gameplay that's coming later, the deck is never the same. So we played 2 Nibiru, 2 Ghost Ogre just to swap it out. Feather Duster, obvious. Extravagance. This is interesting because I've seen people play Extravagance in these decks, but with Prosperity I've got it up here. This is the new one that everyone seems to be playing at the minute. You see it in the Remote Duel Invitational, the Subterra guy was playing it, and it's really good. But I'm not the biggest fan just for the 1 card added. Obviously that 1 card could be a combo starter, it could be Union Hanger. I just prefer the 2 cards of Extravagance. Obviously Prosperity you can choose the cards, and Extravagance you can't, so the ups and downs of those cards are good. I think it's personal preference again. Droplet. This is a card that I actually think that I regret not always putting in the main deck. This is the card that I side in the most, or before the game I will put it in just in case, because this is one of the best tech cards for ABC, I reckon. If you've got this in your hand and you have A, B and C and you're going second, you've got an ABC Dragon Buster straight away, and you've negated 3 monsters on the field, and it's just incredible. And then Ice Dragon's Prison, staple. Torrential Tribute, just easy to get out. Also, this comes into play if you've got ABC Dragon Buster on field and you use its effects and get all 3 out, and then Torrential Tribute it all, get into another ABC Buster, and then all monsters have gone. And 2 Solemn Judgment. Just easy, just a nice staple card. This deck is just very easy to build, but easy to swap out. There's so many options you can do for this deck. The main ones that I would swap out are Droplet and Extravagance, and they come in for heavy mech support armor, Orbital, take out the gadgets occasionally, take out Ghost Spell, and then you've basically got a 6-card swap all the time, depending on what you want. It's easy to swap out and easy to use, and I'll show you what we do with that. We've got some gameplay with Vanity's Ruler and Union Carrier for the tech cards, because they are very important, and I'll talk a little bit more about them in the games, because I think the first game we're going to show you is with Vanity's Ruler, and I'll show you what we mean by the Union Carrier shenanigans there.
I want you to know I'm a Union guy. Unions are going to have increased power.
Okay, we're coming in here first, and I do want to talk about this, what I would call tech in the deck, and obviously I've spoken the deck list about how the deck constantly changes, and you see the pot of extravagance there. It literally is just on your preference, on literally duel by duel, how you want the deck. At this point I wasn't getting the cards I needed in my hand, so extravagance happened, and obviously I didn't want prosperity. I spoke a little bit about it, but I'm the 2 cards instead of a 1 card. Obviously you don't get to see it, but I prefer the 2 cards at the minute. I suppose at one point I will go into prosperity, just it seems like it's going to be the base for everyone to go into, but now we'll talk about this and how this is creeping up in the OCG. In their meta, as Simo in Simo's video, he talked about how he was starting to see this more, and then in the side deck of Drytron decks, they were starting to see a copy of B-Buster Drake in the side deck, just 1 copy. Obviously we play 3 of this, but they were playing 1 copy in the side deck, and it was because of Union Carrier. And Union Carrier, obviously the effect, you can activate it and attach a material to something you have on board, which is really good in this deck, because we can go into Union Driver, execute Union Driver, get something else, summon it onto the field. We can go into more plays, but on theirs they're attaching B-Buster straight to Vanity's Ruler, which is probably about to do what I'm going to do now, because Vanity's Ruler, obviously the opponent can't special summon cards, and then B-Buster Drake means that they can't destroy Vanity's Ruler with the spell cards, so obviously Lightning, Storm and stuff like that becomes ineffective. So it's a little bit concerning for a deck like this, which relies so heavily on Union Carrier, that that's starting to creep up more, because if it starts to become a problem, there's only one way the issue gets solved, and Union Carrier will start to fade away or become banned. Limited maybe. Limited probably wouldn't do much, because you still, if you have 1 copy, you're still going to be able to do it, because it's such an easy card to get to. You see here we're going to equip, we're about to equip B-Buster Drake to Vanity's Ruler. It literally is just almost game winning occasionally, but in this situation it is going to be game winning, because how do you out this? You can't kaiju it, you can't get rid of the spells, you're going to have to pop off without special summoning, and since it's quite easy to get to, obviously you have to have certain cards in your hand to make this work, but in this deck it works really well. But I just point this out, that this seems like it's going to be cropping up more and more in the meta, especially with Drytron, obviously, because they can search for Vanity's Ruler, Light Fairy, which could be more of an issue than against a deck like this without that many negates, and the effect, the resources are in this deck really good, but in a deck like Drytron they get their resources so easily, so it's just a bit of a word of warning that this is probably going to crop up more and more now, just to keep your eye out for it and to try and work around it. Maybe trap heavy, torrential tribute, stuff like that, it might be necessary to side deck if we're going to see this more now. so we're probably nearly halfway through this second game that I wanted to get into about the another tech card, Underworld Goddess, and you can see here we've pretty much got a big board here, ABC using its effects and go into 3 different parts. And obviously I talked about in the introduction that Silver Gadget, Gold Gadget will come in and out of the deck, but in here it was worked really good because we can able to special summon. But you see the resources we have on the board now, which is crazy. Because it allows us to go into Underworld Goddess and we're able to go into an ABC. And so the board you can make with this, because the resources are constantly going up and up. And you see Union Scramble as well. As I talked about that, obviously we couldn't activate the effect of to get all 3 pieces out because we're doing it with ABC Buster, but it still allowed us to get something to hand. But yeah, I just want to talk about how quickly this deck can get to Underworld Goddess, which is really effective. Obviously, Link 5 can't play it in every deck, but in this deck, really easily to play. You see, we're going into it now. We're using 5 more monsters, which you probably wouldn't normally do. You definitely want to use one of their monsters, but we have nothing on board. But it's literally a game mechanic that outs your opponent's monsters. So if you say Raid Raptor Falcon or something like that, you will be able to out it. Obviously, it's unaffected by card effects, but because this is a game mechanic, it's a quick out, really good. So it's just plausible. This is one of the tech cards that ABC is a must to include because it's so powerful in this new setup, in the new meta. This card will see more and more play. It's actually dipped in price a little bit, so I think it's probably good to pick up. Maybe pick up 1 or 2. If you even pick up a playset, you're probably not going to need 3. But you see on board right now, we've got over 9,000 attack. We're going to easily wipe out the board. We can take out the 2 back row with the ABC Dragon Buster, and we've got 9,000 on board. So it's easy to literally one shot with this deck because the resources constantly go up and up and up. I just wanted to talk about that and how good this card can be in this deck. Okay, so you see here we've got 2 additions from our side deck. Then we're doing the main deck. We've got Extravagance and Droplet. And I'm tempted to just include these just fully into the main deck now, because of how good they are. Droplet in this deck is crazy because of this exact reason. We can drop all 3 into the graveyard, A, B and C, and we've negated Vanity's Ruler, Dragoon and Predaplatability Anaconda, which that's huge in itself. But the fact that we've got all 3 parts of ABC Dragon Buster to the graveyard in the first turn, and we can make an ABC and then clear the board, is crazy. Droplet in this deck, Droplet is very expensive as a card. Like, it's uber expensive at the minute. We need a reprint of it, which is probably going to come sooner rather than later. But it's so good. The card is ridiculous. In decks like this, where you can send something to the graveyard, and your graveyard is almost your second deck here with the ABC. Droplet is just so good. Negating Dragoon and Vanity's Ruler, because Drytron, the boards that you're playing against right now are crazy. If you can get Droplet off before VFD hits, they can't activate VFD, they can't activate the Dragoon to negate it because it's literally in its effect. So the Droplet is one of those cards at the minute. Expensive, but probably worthwhile having a playset. Maybe when the reprint happens, it's definitely picking up a playset because of how good the card is. It might eventually not become as good, but right now it's probably one of the best cards in the meta because of how effective it is against decks like Dragoon. So because obviously the Dragoon is creeping up more and more now. It's becoming. We saw it in the Remote Duel Invitational. That the guy that won it was Subterra guy. Had Dragoon on board pretty much every game, and then we're seeing the Gravekeeper's deck crop up more and more, which is, for a deck like this, it's hard to play Gravekeepers anyway because of Necro Valley and the graveyard, so you've got to worry about that. But having a Dragoon on board as well just makes it almost impossible to play against, and Droplet sort of frees up that time you spend in trying to out something, and you then just don't have to worry about a Dragoon for that turn. And if you play a playset, you've got the 2 more to draw into. But you just want to talk about how good the tech card works in a deck like this. And obviously on board, when you're playing Dragoon here, obviously we're losing 2,000 life points quickly to get into it, and so it's able to actually make us win because of that lack of life points, because Uni Carry is able to take us to a game, which is really good. So there's the ABC deck list. Really enjoyed that deck. Really love the combos and the synergy and the resources that you can gain from it. Really easy to learn. Just a nice deck and all. Really hope you enjoyed the new tech cards that I spoke about with the Underworld, Vanity's Ruler, and the Droplet. Obviously not too new, but there's some synergy between them that I think the deck actually can take full advantage of, which I don't see much play with the deck currently. Let me know in the comments below what your deck list for this would look like, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.